Hello, hello, everybody. Sylvie Filion, also known as the Proficient Realtor. We are very excited today. We're doing part 3 of our memory blanket. So let me turn the camera around and let's get started. All right, so today we're going to be working on my cat's blanket for his crate. So I'm doing 4 across by 6. So we're going to be adding over here. And because we're not doing the jagged edge, I wanted to show you how it can be tricky to add corners. So let's say if we were to add another square here. Well, this is easy, right? Because we're picking up over here and then we're picking up some more over here. And then we're putting our marker right here in the center. And then that's it. You don't have to create any stitches. But if we are at the end here, then because we're doing the square, so you're thinking, you're trying to picture a square here, so you're thinking, well, I'm going to be using these stitches here, but I have to, well, at that time there would be a square here, but it'd be over here actually, sorry. So the tricky part would be over here, okay? So adding over here, not a problem. If we are coming over here, anytime we're adding, then we're going to be doing pulling some stitches, so not pulling but creating our own stitches here, and then we're going to grab stitches from over here, okay? And I'm doing the same thing as the other demonstration that I had done. Oh, I got a thread there, but see how my ends are weaved in. There's nothing to do at the end, right? So I have one over here that I'm just going to weave. That's not a big deal. These two I'm going to weave. This one here I'm going to be able to attach over here. This one here is I'm going to weave when I'm attaching more, and this one here too. So really, I have 3 strands that I need to use a needle to weave in my work, which is amazing. Instead of, oh my gosh, look at how many there would have been. You got 2 for each square. That would have been hours and hours worth of work, right? Okay, perfect. So not adding over here, we're going to add one over here. Now, because we're not doing the jagged edge, I want a square here. Okay, so I'm going to be picking up over here, and then I'm going to be creating more stitches over here. Now for this project here, this is the cotton blend, and so we're dealing with the number 4 medium over here. It's the cotton brand, and it's a blend, and we're using a needle number 4 millimeters, so 6 US. Okay. So for this one here, I'm going to be using my circular needles again because we just finished moving, and I don't know where my other needles are. So we'll get started with this one here. All right, so I'm going to count. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the other ones, okay? So I'm going to be counting back. So just to figure out how many stitches I need to pull from over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 15 over here, and then we can definitely do 16 out of this one here. Okay. So this one here for this blanket, I'm doing 16 by 16. So starting over here, just putting my thread like we've been doing, leaving a somewhat of a tail. All right, and then just pulling it through. So that's my number 1. This is my other one that I'm creating that's not so apparent, I guess. The other ones you can totally see. You've got your loops here, all around here. Okay, and you're not going through both again, right? Like what I was talking about with the other videos. You're just grabbing the first one. All right. For the next one, I'm going to be grabbing both tails, and instead of just leaving them in the back to create my loop, I'm going to pull it forward and then just create my loop like that. And this is how the tails will be weaved in. So I'm just going to grab the next loop, and then I'm going to make sure my tails are at the back when I'm creating. Okay, grab the next one, bring my tails forward. So I'm just holding on to them. I mean, you can hold on to them in whatever way you want, but I find that if I don't let go of them, they're easier to you know, it's just easier to go back and forth. So I mean, you can totally see here that we finished on the back because they're pointing towards the back. Because if they were done in the front, they would be looking up, right? Like this one here, how it's like sticking up. All right, so these ones are going to be to the back. The front. And then I will do this, as long as I have enough tail, I'll keep going until I get to my first marker. I would have continued if I didn't have to create stitches. So let's say if I was in the middle here, this section here, I would have pulled, or I would have had my tails hiding in here, and then I would have kept going here until probably here-ish. Okay, but because this is not the case, and I wanted to, or another way that you can have a look is to figure out if you finished on top or on the bottom, is your thread over here, so the one that you're using to make your loops, is it underneath or is it on top? It's underneath, right? So obviously the tails were on top like that when I finished. So in order to, so if I have my yarn crossing over here, then it's going to be locked back here. Okay, so that's a little trick, I guess, that you could use. So see how the tails are at the back, my yarn's at the top. So if I come over here and then I'm crossing over here, my yarn is locking the tails in. If you're having a hard time remembering if it was on top or at the back. Okay, and now I'm down to my last one. So you always want to finish with your tails in the back. Okay, that way there it's just going to sit better. Whoops. So let's do that again. Okay, so we should have 16. Let's double check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Perfect. So I'm just going to cut those tails and make sure that you're cutting the tails and not your strand here. There we go. I'm going to add my marker. Okay, and then I'm going to be creating 16 more stitches in order to go this way here. And then when I'm going to be done joining both of them, so obviously it's going to look flat like this. Not flat, but like kind of like this as I'm creating it. But as I'm decreasing, like I did here, my ends are going to end up like with this, and then we're going to have that line, this line here, that's going to be going this way here. All right, so I'm just going to be creating some extra loops here. Okay, so this is 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. You always want to count out loud, because that way there you don't forget where you're at, so you don't make mistakes. And you always want your stitches to be staying, you don't want them twisted, right? Because you're going to end up with a different end result. So you want to make sure that they're all lined up, like they are right there. Okay. All right, so I'm turning my work over, and then this one here. So from part 1 and part 2, we usually slip the first stitch, but because I created this, if I slip the first one, I'm going to lose this. So I'm going to knit it. I'm going to knit the first one because I don't want it to be, I don't want to lose it. Okay. And then we're going to do like we usually do. We're just going to knit the whole back. Now, of course, this is going to be a little harder because they're tight. We just created them. Now make sure that you have all the strands of yarn. Wow, that's tight. Let's do that again. Okay, so we'll keep going. Oh my god, it's so tight. Let me see if I can just lube it. There we go. That's going to be harder. Okay, I'm going to put it back. So that should have loosened things up a little bit. Oh, shit. So the first line, obviously not ideal, right? There's a lot of, you're doing a lot of forcing and a lot of wiggling with the needles. But once you're past that first line, or these created stitches, things will be better. Now, if somebody has an idea, not idea, but a method, a better method for creating these, post it in the comments. I would love to see and try something different, because this is such a big pain in the butt and not pleasant, right? I always dread these new stitches because of having to fight so much with the yarn. Okay, we're almost done. We're almost there. Now, thank God we only had 16, right? Because the other 16 we picked up. So let's try that yarn. Few more, guys, just a few more. We're almost there. Okay, what is that? 4 more? 4 more. So on this side here, when we are adding to the left side of the blanket, we're going to be, like I showed you, we're going to be looping a certain way. But when we're adding squares onto the right side of the blanket, we're going to be doing it backwards. So the same method, but just backwards. Am I done? Is this the last one? No, one more. Yay, that last one was easy. Yay. There we go. Okay, so let's just knit through the rest. My thumb hurts. It's like all red. It's all red from forcing so much. Jeez. All right. Let's finish this. And then we'll have a look and see what it looks like. Now, I won't knit the whole square for you. If you want to see the method, you can have a look at the second video, part 1 or part 2. They will show you the techniques of what to do, what sort of stitches to do when you're in the front, and also when you're doing it in the back. Okay, so the last one, because it wasn't created, right? We pulled it from this here. Well, we did create it, but it wasn't like these ones here. We're going to be doing it like we usually do, so in the back, and then we knit it. Okay, we're going to make sure that our stitches are all straight, and then let's turn our work around, and here you have it. Okay, so let's keep going. We're going to do 2 more rows, and then that will be it for this video here, because it's repetition. We're just repeating what we've done in the other videos. So because we've already created, like this is a nice created one, and if I pull it through, there's not going to be any issues. It's not going to come undone. I'm just going to pass my yarn here so if I'm on the correct side. So I just I pulled it through, pull the stitches off, or pull one of the stitch off, and then the yarn goes in the back or between the 2 needles, and then I'm just going to be knitting until I get to 2 stitches from the marker, and then that's when we will be decreasing. So 2 stitches before the marker and 2 stitches after the marker. All right. And the whole point of doing this one here in cotton, it's because I want to be able to wash this as often as possible. And you know, I find that once, I guess obviously depending on the yarn, but when you're washing yarn, it doesn't always come out the nicest, right? So I'm down to 2 stitches like just before my marker, so I'm just gonna put it through both. So I'm knitting these 2 stitches together. Whoops, my yarn came undone in the back there. I'll just do that again. There we go. Okay, and then pull my marker through. I'm gonna slip this one here, slip this one here. It might be tight a little bit again because of we really had to force to get them there to get them through, but the next round it'll be much better. So putting my needle through both and then knitting in the back. I'm just going to slide the stitches here so I can easily, or try anyways. Come on. There we go. Okay, and then pulling those 2 stitches off. Now I'm going to knit until I get to the last stitch. Pretty straightforward. And always making sure that your stitches are all lined up. They're not twisting, right? You do not want that. Okay. And then when you get to the last one, you'll be so you go in the back, and we're knitting like we usually do. So see how this one here has the nice finished edge instead of having the loopy kind of edge, which is easier for picking up stitches, this one here, but then this one here is more of a finishing. See how it's nice and finished, right? It looks nice and pleasing to the eye. Okay, so when you're on this side here, on the left hand side, okay, you're going to be putting your thumb under the yarn, okay, and then what I did was I just created stitches like that. Okay, so I'm going to undo that because obviously I don't want that there. I'm just showing you guys. Now when you're going to be adding squares on the right side, of your work, like let's say if I already had I wanted to add over here, okay, one more. Then I'd have to, obviously we're picking up these ones here, but then I need to create this side here, okay? So what I would do, instead of having my thumb going under the yarn, I'll do it backwards. So I have my thumb front going in the back, okay? And then I'm gonna be picking up this here. Look at the lines from like forcing. I'm gonna be picking up the yarn in the back here and creating my loop, okay? So this, if I'm going in the back, okay, bring it to the front and then grabbing this here, this is for the left side. If I'm doing it backwards, so I'm gonna go down under and I'm gonna grab the yarn in the back, this is going to be for the right hand side. All right, because both of them will make different, see how these are totally different, they'll make a different finishing. So it's very important that you're doing the correct one for the correct side. Okay, I'm just going to count these because I'm thinking this one shouldn't be there, but I'm not sure anymore. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Oh shoot, we've like undone. Did we do that? Oh no, hold on, because we've already, hold on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. So we're good. We have 15. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Okay, we're good. Yes, because we've already reduced over here. Okay, so basically that's what I would keep going, keep doing until I get to the last 2 stitches, last 4 stitches. And you know how if you look at the other videos, part 1 or part 2, you'll be able to see the way that I finish the top of the blanket, or the top of over here, the corner. Okay, so this is basically what's going on for this blanket here. And what I've decided, because I wanted solid colors and I'm kind of running out of solid colors really quickly. So I've decided that what I'm going to do is, so I have already my 4 pieces here. Now I needed 6 over here. So this is going to be 5. And then this is, I think I said this one here, this color here. And then what I'll do is I'll just repeat my pattern here. So green, purple, navy blue, and blue. And then I'll start it over here. And then I'll come back and I'll do this side here, but in the reversed on the other side. Now here in the center, I've got these colors here. And I'm kind of debating if I want to do no, I don't want orange. I forget the colors. Oh, so it was either these ones here or this one here. And I think looking at it, I think I prefer this one here. Anyways, so what I'll do is, because I have 4 squares here in the center, because my border is going to go all the way around. So I was thinking if I move everything up 2 squares, have this one here, have this one here, and then, so everything's going to look even. Kind of like a little pattern going. So this color obviously will be going here as well. So I've got a pattern going over here in the center for the 8 squares, and then the border is going to be repeating itself around. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and come back and check every week for more content. Have a great day. Bye. Okay, a little update, something that I didn't even think about, and this is my first time doing this kind of blanket, and I totally forgot about the edges. So this is my last square, and so this side here, all pretty, right? All nice, and the finishing is beautiful on it. And then this side here, it looks like we're ready to grab we're going to be adding another square here. And this is not the way that I want the finishing, the side, anyways, the side of the blanket to finish like that. So I am finishing my other corner here, and of course this is the top, and then I did it a different way here, and I just wanted to show you guys. So this one here, I finished it, I was knitting actually the last stitch, and then this side here, you can totally tell that it's different, and I wasn't too crazy about that. Now I wasn't going to undo the square. It's not, you know, something that's going to be, it's just for my cat's crate, so not a big deal. So I wanted to just do an update on the video to show you guys, to make sure that you're finishing your edges properly. Okay, so if I just put this here on the counter, this side here, I've got the nice loops because I'm gonna be adding 2 more squares over here because it's a 4x6 or 4x6, yes. Okay, and then so this side here is going to be a finished edge, this side here not. So when I am knitting, I need to be very careful of which side I am working on. So this is my finished edge. So instead of what I would usually do is just kind of pull a loop through and then do the thread or the yarn between the 2 needles, I'm not going to be doing that. Okay, I'm not going to be pulling it through. I'm going to be knitting it. So this is how I'm going to end up with my finished edge. Okay, and then because this is the wrong side, because we can tell, I'm just going to knit the rest like I usually do. That's my marker. So the back side is always straight knitting. And then because I am coming on the side where I'm going to be adding more squares, I don't want to knit it because I need those loops that are easy to grab when I'm adding another piece. So I'm going to be knitting it in the back like I've been doing all along. Okay, so when I'm turning my project over, let's just do that. Sorry guys, my throat is very sore. I had the second procedure of my surgery there for the gallbladder, and they had to do the tube down the throat there, so it's I'm a little, my voice is a little hoarse right now. So this here, I am obviously doing the loops again, so I'm going to be just pulling a loop through, and then I'm going to be doing as usual. Okay, and then knitting. So I am on the right side right now, as you can tell. So I'm 2 stitches before my marker. I'm going to be knitting those 2 together. All right, and then passing my stitch through, and I'm going to be putting just sliding over 2 stitches and then knitting them together like that. Okay, perfect. And then knitting, and because this is the finishing side of the blanket, I'm going to just knit it instead of knitting it in the back. That would create that loop effect. I'm going to knit it in the front so that it finishes it. Okay, and then I don't get the loops like that. I get a cleaner finished edge. You don't get that that problem, or it doesn't. I didn't have that issue when I was working with the diagonal blanket. It's just this one here, because it's a rectangular or square shaped blanket. Then obviously, you know, you want to keep in mind that you want your finishing edges to be nicer, right? Like more of a finished look, then you're ready to pull more loops. There's nothing wrong with this loop or this finishing here, but I just wanted it to be more of a finished look. Okay, so obviously this is, well, I'm going to be putting the yarn in here there after I'm done all the work, but there's obviously going to be a difference, but I mean, who's going to be looking, right? It's just for the crate. so it doesn't matter, and that's why I didn't want to, I didn't undo it. There's no point in doing that. Okay, so something to keep in mind. And then when I'm gonna be getting to my fourth square here, I'll have to make sure that I'm gonna be doing the finished edge on both sides, not just on the one side and then the loop side on the other side, right? Because the finished edge over here is going to be the fine, like both edges need to be pretty or a finishing edge. Okay, so hopefully that helps. And I just realized it when I got to this square here. The last square that we had done together was this one here, and I thought that I was done with this blanket until I got to the square, and I was like, oh god, yeah, no, I need to do an update on that because we're not done. All right, so hopefully this helps you, and then you won't make the same mistake I did. But even if you have the loops, it still looks good. All right, have a great day, everybody. Thank you.